So okay.
Okay. Hi, everyone. This is
Hi.
Touchline Report, first podcast. We'll be discussing the Champions League season, the some things that come that not only on the pitch but also out of the pitch. Multiple things. We're like a all around podcast. Okay, so
Yeah.
we'll start off with the previous week's Champions League. So there were Manchester City, Dortmund. What are your thoughts on that?
So yeah, you had Manchester against Dortmund, and actually, it was a little bit of a surprise because you probably, like in a form that City are, you'd expect them to go and win at home like at least 3-0 against Dortmund. But I think Dortmund put a really good performance with some really young players there, like Bellingham playing really good in the midfield, and they managed to lose for just one goal of difference, and that goal might be like the decider for the next game in Germany. So yeah, you have to wait and see. But I think Manchester City will have a tougher match than they thought they would have. Another point that it's probably important to discuss, and Guardiola already said it, players are playing like at least three times per week, so it's a lot of games, so they have to switch a lot the team. But yeah, like Manchester City has a really good team, probably around 1 billion euros. So yeah, they probably in theory you have the upper hand, but that goal that Dortmund score might be what takes the German team to the semifinals.
Yeah, I thought Dortmund really put a lot of pressure on City. City went to the quarterfinals as favorites against Dortmund. City did well, but Dortmund also challenged them a lot. I feel like that Bellingham goal against Ederson, that really should have counted. The ref blew the whistle even before the ball rolled into the net, and it was unbelievable. He didn't even go check to VAR. That was the most unbelievable part, in my opinion. Dortmund really challenged City. They were tough opponents. Because as you said before, City went into this game favorites. No one thought Dortmund was going to challenge them that much, and all the way to the end, Dortmund gave it the all and everything. And just a last minute strike from Foden saw them go into the second leg with one foot in the semifinal.
Yeah, yeah, and probably so Aguero will leave at the end of the season, and he said he would only leave City when he won a Champions League.
Yeah,
So now probably it's the time, but we don't know. But it's true that Manchester City have been putting really good performance this season. So they in my opinion, they are one of the contenders to the title. But Dortmund, it will be like a tough opponent.
yeah. Okay. The next match, in my opinion, was one of the best. Was Real Madrid and Liverpool.
Yeah, yeah. In my opinion, it was a battle between two sleeping giants because Liverpool is not in a great form this season. Real Madrid is under a rebuilding process. In the past 2 years, they spent like over 40 100 million euros just on new players, and this season they didn't spend anything because the impact of course COVID and the fact that in the last two Champions League seasons they were beaten in the first round, yeah, the first elimination round. So yeah, they are now in for the first time in 3 years in the quarterfinals, but they really put a good performance against Liverpool, but they also took advantage of the defensive mistakes that the English team did. And one thing that it was really surprising, it was Thiago playing for on the bench, and yeah, yeah, of course he entered in the first half as soon as Liverpool was losing 2-0 because Liverpool couldn't play, they couldn't get the balls, they had to put Thiago on the pitch, but still Real Madrid managed to play really good against them, pressure them, play a really good attacking football, and yeah, we got like Vinicius scoring 2 goals, which was really surprising. And we didn't notice that much the fact that they didn't had Sergio Ramos, neither Varane, and they still manage to win. And Liverpool instead, like, they didn't attack that much. They didn't put a good performance on the last third of the pitch. And the most important, I think, like, player that probably would change the game and didn't play very well, it was Diogo Jota. He scored like three or four goals in the last two matches before Real Madrid, and against Real Madrid he couldn't do anything. Probably because he was playing like a little bit further back, but yeah, he didn't manage to do that crazy plays that he normally does. So yeah.
Yeah, Real Madrid maintained the majority of the possession throughout the game. As you said, the defensive mistake from Liverpool were just so costly. Asensio over the top of Allison. Trent Alexander-Arnold was the one that headed the ball to Asensio, which allowed Asensio to make it 2-0. Really difficult for Liverpool. And as we saw, without Ramos and Varane, two of their starting center backs, Real Madrid still were able to surpass Liverpool, while Liverpool have been the majority of the season without all of their center backs. Really, they were out without Van Dijk, which we saw really hurt them throughout most of the season, and we saw it here in this game. Madrid were just the better team throughout this game, and honestly, I think they'll be able to reach the semifinals. And Liverpool, honestly, in my opinion, won't be able to make the Champions League next season.
Yeah, probably. And just look at the second goal of Vinicius. He could like just shoot the ball inside of the penalty, like almost in the penalty area with no pressure. He had like near him Kavak and Phillips, and neither of these two players managed to just go and get the ball. They just stand and look at him, and he scored like simple as that with no pressure at all. So yeah, like probably Real Madrid 1 foot for sure, 1 foot in the semifinals. Although like we can at the start of the Champions League, we probably wouldn't say that this season they would be like the contenders in like practically talking, because theoretically they are always the contenders. So that they are the club with most Champions League. Just that fact, yeah, it's enough to prove my point.
Yeah. And the next match, Chelsea and Porto. What are your thoughts on that?
So for me, this match was a bit of a bummer. Like as a Portuguese, I wanted Porto to pass, but they put it a really good performance. They Chelsea just capitalized on their individual mistakes. The Zaidu, the Porto left back, he tried to cut the ball in on the first goal, but he just like precipitated himself, and he tried to get to the ball first, and Mason Mount just dribbled past him easily, and then Porto goalkeeper matches in didn't do the best that he already showed in a previous game in the Champions League, like against Juve or against Manchester City. So yeah, and just we you can look also to the second goal, and it's also a defensive mistake, but an individual one. It wasn't all the team that played bad or made bad decisions that led to the second goal of Chelsea. So it's and especially playing like at home. It's at Sevilla Stadium, but at theoretically at home, and they lost like a pretty good advantage. If they would like one nil, they would have like a good chance to go to the semifinals. But now, in my opinion, like Chelsea can just stand with this result and don't risk anything in the second leg, and Port will have to fight from 2 goals behind. So you have to wait and see if they can put a really good performance. They have showed that they have like a really great fighting spirit, like with Pep doing like a really good cut on cutting the ball on the line against Juve, and like the goalkeeper again doing a really great performance. they they also do normally they always start the game doing really high pressure on the opponent, showing that it's Chelsea but we don't fear them. it's Juve, you don't fear them. It's Manchester City, you don't fear them. They showed that several times this season. And yeah, you have to wait and see. But probably if Chelsea just stand with this result and tries to defend it, they'll probably go to the semi-finals. Unfortunately, for me.
Yeah, in my opinion, Porto were definitely the better team, piling pressure on Chelsea, maintaining most of the possession just because of a few mistakes from the defense. That especially that second goal, allowing Chilwell to get into that space, getting the ball, putting it past Marchison, that really sealed the game. That Mount goal, I think it was a great turn from Mount, get into space, put it past Marchison. I think it was a great goal. Though Porto were definitely the better team, piling pressure, get definitely having more shots on target, just having more shots in general. It was really good, but definitely Chelsea were more clinical this game. They were able to get the two goals, the two away goals that are so vital in the Champions League, and I think that really helps Chelsea trying to get to the semifinal. In my opinion, they'll be able to get into the semifinal this year, possibly in the final, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah,
PSG and Bayern Munich, that was a great game.
yeah, man. Like what a game! This is the description of Champions League. We probably thought that it would be like the last final of the Champions League, but really, like PSG put a really good performance against Bayern. They showed, although they in Liga and they are fighting for the title, and they had lost the previous game against Lille, and now Lille is 3 points in front of them. In the previous game, Bayern had also played against a title contender in Germany. They played against Leipzig and they won 1-0. They didn't have to play a really good football, and they really showed how mature this team is because they don't need to play a really good football. They get the results, and they always manage to impress everyone with their performance. Although they might be not so flashy as they were like last year when they won everything that they could win. And of course, like another fantastic game of Mbappe netting 2 goals. Neymar just getting that long pass for Marquinhos, a really great pass. And Bayern, like they had to drill and go for the result. They managed to score 2 goals, which end up being pretty good. But these three goals away from PSG might be what gets them to the semifinals. But again, we are talking about two of the best teams of the Champions League and probably in Europe this season and for the past years. So anything can happen from this game, and Bayern already shown us like throughout the history of Champions League and football in general that they are always able to getting a really good comebacks, especially in Champions League. So yeah, we have to wait and see, but it's going to be a really good second leg. Bayern trying to always get goals, and for sure because they are behind in this in the two legs, but PSG also wants to get that spot in the semifinals, and they have like an advantage with the 3 goals away, but only 1 goals. By if Bayern scores 2 goals, PSG is out of the Champions League, so it's going to be a really good game, and we have to wait to see if Mbappe puts a really good performance again and scores 2 goals. Bayern probably wouldn't have the chance, and they don't have, of course, Lewandowski. Choupo-Moting is not the same player, really like some levels behind. It's like it's a player to be on the bench, and you put it when we need to get Lewandowski out of the pitch. So we have to wait and see. But again, like I can't really say what's going to happen.
Yeah,
So yeah,
Bayern Munich, in my opinion, if you ask for my opinion, Bayern Munich were the better team. The two teams were almost inseparable. So hard to separate, both maintaining so much possession. But Bayern Munich were just throwing shots at them. 31 shots from Bayern Munich, and 6 shots from PSG. But clearly, PSG were more clinical. They were able to score 3. Bayern Munich was only able to score 2. You know, I think not too many great players from Bayern Munich were doing that well that day. Really, in my opinion, the only two that were great that day were uh, Kimmich and Muller. Muller got the goal. Kimmich was just playing those balls. It was a good game from Bayern Munich. PSG were just more clinical. They were able to get into that space, play those balls to the forwards. The forwards were clearly able to finish. Marquinhos just in that space. Neymar playing that long ball to him, able to easily finish. That first goal from Mbappe is a Neuer mistake. Shot right at Neuer. Neuer really should have saved that. Big mistake from Neuer. That could possibly cost them the Champions League this season. But we'll have to wait and see. Bayern Munich, as you said, are one of those great teams. You never know what's going to happen in the next game with them. They're such a great team. This is Champions League. Anything can happen, really. Two legs, two games, two great teams. You just never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, and like you said, PSG were way more clinic than Bayern. Bayern shot a lot and missed a lot of opportunities to score more goals, and PSG just got the chance, took advantage of Bayern mistakes, and they got 3 goals. And probably they will have the upper hand for the second leg. But yeah, it's Bayern we are talking about, so have to wait and see. It's going to be really good games for next week. In next week, we have to wait the Champions League. So yeah, anything can happen. Like we already said several times.
Yeah. So for the predictions for the Champions League, well, what are your predictions? Like, who do you think is going to reach the semifinals?
So as we already talked, Real Madrid has the upper hand against Liverpool. So I think they will pass like to the semifinals with no problem. They are 2 goals in front. Liverpool has just 1 goal away, but they have been not playing really good this season. They managed to play 3 really good games domestically, but when they went to the Champions League, we see that they are not there this season. It's a completely different Liverpool with really always doing really bad mistakes on the defensive side. So Real Madrid will probably go to the semifinals. Like Manchester City, I think it will also go to the semifinals. Although Dortmund will will put a really good fight against them, as they already shown in the first leg. But Manchester City just have the players, So and Dortmund with a lot of young players, and that might be what takes them out of the Champions League because they don't have the experience to go to the semifinals with these players. But let's see. And regarding the other 2 games, Porto against Chelsea, has already said Chelsea has the advantage, so probably they do start try to defend the 2 goals advantage that they have. It's going to be difficult for them, for Porto to win. They have to score 3 goals to get into the Champions League. If Chelsea doesn't score any goals, so it's going to be a really really tough match. If in Porto case they just need to play like they play in the first leg and don't do any defensive mistakes, because this is Champions League, and at this level, if you do the same mistakes that they did in the first leg, they will for sure get out of the Champions League.
Manuel, you're there? Sorry, buddy. 1 second. Okay, everyone. So Manuel's having some internet problems. So there's some questions in the chat. I'll just answer them for now. First question: where do you think Haaland's gonna go? I wrote an article on this on the Footy Report. I think I put that link in the description. You can go check that website out. Uh, my opinion, Haaland's not going to go to Manchester City. His agent Raiola doesn't have that great of a relationship with Pep Guardiola. So honestly, I think he's not going to go to Manchester City. I think that's ruled out. The other two that I think have a higher chance of grabbing Haaland before the transfer market closes or before his contract runs out is Barcelona and Real Madrid. Clearly, they're both very deep in debt. Barcelona much more in debt, 1.2 billion euros in debt. That's honestly, I think that's too much to purchase Haaland. But they need a striker to link up with Messi if they don't want Messi to leave. Messi's just carrying Barcelona. So many goals. The second highest goal scorer for Barcelona in La Liga this season is Griezmann with only 8 goals. Messi with 23 goals. It's a big difference, really. And honestly, I think that um, Barcelona won't be able to grab Haaland. But I think that Real Madrid might be able to get Haaland, but if they do choose to get Haaland, I don't think they'll be able to get Mbappe, who they've been going after for the past 2 or 3 seasons. So honestly, I think they will be able to get Haaland, and if they do want to purchase Mbappe, they'll have to sell a few of their other players, which can they'll get money from that, and they'll also have to have less wages to pay for. And so we'll answer the rest of the questions at the end of the stream because Manuel is back.
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry, guys. I was talking about Bayern against PSG. I think my predictions for the games for the second leg. Yeah, so I was just going to say that probably if Bayern manage to play really good and don't do any mistakes, and they have the team and they can make a really good comeback. But PSG, if they manage to capitalize on these little mistakes that like they did on the first hand, they'll probably get to so through. So, in my opinion, I'm going with Bayern because I think they can pull a comeback, but PSG are for sure way better placed to go to the semifinals. What are your predictions? Like
Really,
probably different than mine.
yeah, basically really similar. Real Madrid to the semifinals against Liverpool will continue to make mistakes, except with Manchester City and Dortmund. Honestly, I think Dortmund was pushing so hard in that game. I think that they'll push harder at their home stadium, which has a great atmosphere. Obviously, no fans, but I still think they have that home advantage, which will allow them to get to the semifinals against City, who last game somewhat struggled against Dortmund. But I agree with your Chelsea, and but I also think that PSG will be able to get into the semifinals against Bayern Munich. They don't have Gnabry next game. He has coronavirus. Lewandowski obviously out with the injury, and obviously, as you said, Choupo-Moting, he's not at that level as Lewandowski. He's not going to be able to provide like Lewandowski. He just isn't Lewandowski. So honestly, I think PSG will be able to come in front of Bayern and will be able to reach the semifinals just like last year. And honestly, I think PSG are contenders to win the Champions League this season. They've been a great team in the Champions League, not so much League One, but still, I think they've been doing great in the Champions League this season. So I think they're really contenders. Chelsea, I think they're going to reach the semifinals against Porto. Thomas Tuchel loves to sometimes play that five defenders with a left back, right back, and three center backs. He could play. Thiago Silva is back from injury, coming slowly and slowly. Um, there's Zuma, there's Rudiger, Christensen, so many possible choices to just hold on to that 2-0 lead going and staying home. They already have those two precious away goals. They just can't let Porto score two to push into extra time, possibly three to push themselves into the semifinal. But honestly, I think those are my predictions.
And probably if Manchester City goes through and PSG goes through, you'll have a really good game in the semifinals, right? Like they will play against each other, if I'm not mistaken. And if Real Madrid goes to the semifinal, they'll have to play either Porto or Chelsea, but probably Chelsea. So yeah, two very exciting games probably in the semifinals. You have to wait and see. But yeah, it's Champions League and it's impressive with this COVID context, and we still can get like these really good matches, and players still manage to perform in the season that they have been they needed to play a lot of games, especially at the start, because we start a little bit later this season, of course, due to COVID and Champions League being moved to December last season. So they really needed to play a lot of games from like October to December, and they have been pushed to the limit, all players in at the top of the game. And yeah, they are showing that they still can put really good performance and impress every football fan.
Yeah, Champions League is Champions League. It's always going to be good. It's always going to be dramatic. It's always going to be wonderful.
Yeah, true, true. And it looks like we'll have some news about Champions League and possible a change for 24-25 season, starting 20 in the season 24-25, regarding the model of Champions League, right? Probably would more four teams added to the competition. What's been called this has been called the Swiss model, and we'll probably not have the group stage starting from this season on, from 24 onwards, because they want to implement a different model, a league model, where we'll have the 36 teams, each team playing 10 games, 5 away and 5 home, and the first 8 teams will go through the to the round of 16, and then we'll have a playoff for the other 16 teams that finished a little bit to the bottom. They'll play a playoff, and we'll get 8 more teams to the round of 16 of the Champions League. So, what do you think about this change? It's a little bit dramatic.
Yeah,
And
honestly, I don't think it's a good decision. There's 32 teams. That's a good amount of teams. 36 for me, honestly, is too many teams. Um, eight, 5 games home, 5 games away. Champions League is Champions League. You can't change that. Too late. If you finish top two in your group, you go to the next round. And if you just keep winning every 2 legs, I don't think 5 games home, 5 games away is as beautiful as Champions League is as of right now. Champions League is just it's been going for so long. I don't think you should be able to just change it like that. I don't like the Swiss model too much. I don't know. Just for me personally, I think the Champions League is just as dramatic as it is right now. I like that dramaticness. You know, it makes me want to watch it. If it's just 5 games, 5 games, whoever finishes the best goes into the round of 16. That I don't think that's good. And 5 games and 5 games, I think that's too many already. You have international duty. You have other tournaments, like let's say you're Mohamed Salah. You have international duty for Egypt. You have Premier League. You have FA Cup, Carabao Cup. So many other tournaments. You're going to be tired out, and he's a starter. Well, if you win, you're a starter. That makes it just worse. You're going to be so much tired out. That means 3 or 4 games a week and training. You're not going to have too much rest. You're going to be tired out. You're going to get injured more often. That's really going to hurt the game. It's just going to make it less more fun to watch.
yeah, that's a really great point. Like, players have already been complaining this season about the amount of games that they have to play, and like with more teams, it's going to be even worse, and more games. Like, how you are we going to fit like 10 games on the calendar? We have already a lot of games, and yeah, that's why, for example, I think in England they want to get rid of the League Cup, because it's more games, but they really aren't putting the things that they aren't seeing the big picture. Because if we look to the small teams that play in these like kind of cups, for them the amount of money that they get from winning a game or getting to a certain stage of this kind of competition, it's it really makes a difference. So they are just like looking to the top clubs, of course. And one one of the most surprising things is that these 4 teams will not probably two of them will not be qualified to the Champions League based on their positions on their domestic leagues. So one of the places is going to be to the French league, so that they have basically the same amount of teams in the Champions League as the other top 5 leagues. Then we have another spot that we still don't really know who is going to get that spot, but probably the first team of the Netherlands league, so the RDVs, Probably you will see instead of Ajax having to play playoffs to get to the Champions League, they'll have to they will get probably a direct place to in the not the group stage now, but like yeah, like this league format, and then they want to give two places based on the last 5 seasons performance on these European competitions. So if we get like Manchester United or Tottenham between the fifth or seventh place, they'll probably get to the Champions League, even if they are not in like domestically in place to get there, just based on their last performance on the last 5 seasons, which is kind of unfair. And if we look to the smaller leagues, we have like teams like Red Bull Salzburg. We have, like we mentioned, Ajax. We have, I don't know, probably Benfica had to play, for example, playoff this season to get to the Champions League, and they didn't manage to get. Olympiacos, all these teams that most of the times finish second or first in their domestic leagues, and in the past they will probably get directly to the Champions League because it was just the champions competition, so all the countries champions would go to this competition and no other teams. And of course we had like Red Star, the Serbian team, winning the Champions League. I think in the 80s uh, we had Juve that, okay, it's a really good team, but now hasn't managed to. We have has won the Champions League. Sorry, probably not. I'm completely mistaken. But what I want to say is basically we had like these really small teams going to the Champions League for these like small countries, CSKA Sofia, a Bulgarian team, and they don't get to go to European competitions even. And we have 4 more places, and we are basically giving them to the 3 places, basically to the top 5 leagues, basically to ensure that clubs like Manchester United or Tottenham, if they don't get in the places of Champions League, they will get to the Champions League if they didn't perform well domestically. And we are completely forgetting about these other teams that win their leagues in their countries and they don't play any competition. And it kind of kills the element of surprise that we have uh, a bit now in the Champions League, because we still manage to have some of these teams, but with this change, probably less and less of these teams like Ajax or Benfica, I don't know, or Red Bull Salzburg, they will not get to the Champions League. So yeah, it's not the best of changes in this perspective. It's uh, just thinking of the commercial side of the game. So getting more games, more broadcast money is what the top teams want, and it's only going to get the players even more tired than they are now, and they are already really tired. So yeah, in my opinion, I can understand it. I can understand it in the commercial point of view, but it's killing the essence of the game. But yeah, it's my opinion. You probably guys have a different one from mine. If you support the big teams, I don't know.
Yeah, Champions League is for all of Europe's best teams, not just the top five best leagues. That includes Netherlands should be able to play. Greece teams should be able to play. All those other teams should be able to play, not just some other great team. Like if Manchester United finish seventh, like as you said, seventh or fifth place, not qualifying for the Champions League because of their past performances, they'll be able to qualify for the Champions League, which I think really, really hurts other great teams in that time, like Netherlands, Ajax, they still have to qualify, and we already know they're a great team. Like for example, 2018 to 19 season, they were able to reach the semifinals of the Champions League. Who expected that? They were a brilliant team that year. But even the next year after that, 2020, from the 2019 to 20 season, they still have to try. They finished first in every days, and they still have to qualify for the Champions League, which I think it doesn't make too much sense, especially saying that there are some really great teams in other countries they don't get a chance to show that they're just that great.
Yeah, yeah. Like you just look, you had Red Bull Salzburg like 2 seasons or last season with Haaland playing really good, and it was the first time they went to the Champions League. And probably with this system, we won't get like this kind of teams qualifying, and we also don't get the teams that in the past won Champions League, like Ajax has 4 Champions League. Uh, Another team from the Netherlands, Feyenoord, has also Champions League, and we won't see these kind of things in the future if we switch to this so-called Swiss system. Probably would be much unlikely to see. So yeah, it's a little bit frustrating because we obviously want to see like these big games, but just imagine watching each season Real Madrid playing against Bayern or Manchester United playing against, I don't know, like Dortmund. Always the big teams playing, always the big teams playing it, and there's nothing new. It's just like more money for them. Okay, you probably get good games because they have really good players, but we just don't get like probably these romantic underdog stories that we had, for example, with Ajax 2 seasons ago, with Leipzig last season, and it won't happen again, probably. So
Yeah.
that's a bit of a shocker, but yeah, let's see how it goes. Have to wait.
Yeah, some other big news off of the pitch. Third tier team from England, Ipswich Town, has been taken over by a group called Game Changer 20. They've been bought for £40 million from board members from actually a US club called Phoenix Rising. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, are actually bought by a consortium formed by I think three of the members of this consortium are members of a board of Phoenix Rising, a team of the United soccer team of the United States or football team, and um, probably it's good news for them. We have to see, but if they are already in the football world, they probably have the experience and they want to get the club where it deserves. Because if you don't know, Ipswich Town was a really good team in the past, and they spent a lot of times, a lot of seasons in the Division One, what is now called the Premier League. They also win a European Cup, so the now called Europa League. I think they won one time the Division One with Bobby Robson as the coach. So as you can imagine, they were a really good team, and a good example like in the in the Champions League right now, it's for example Leeds, which were like 16 years out of the Premier League, and Ipswich Town, it's a little bit of the same, although they now are in League One, which is basically the third division in England, like Sunderland, which is also in that division, two really iconic teams of the English football, and they are playing in this division, which it's kind of sad. So probably let's see if this news if it is a good news or not. It will have to wait because it's always a matter of the new owners care about the club or only want to try to make to profit of it, although football it's not like the best investment at all. So if they really care about the club, yeah, they probably will get advantage of this takeover. But yeah, let's see, we will have so many like uh, good or bad examples of uh, this type of takeovers. We had like Wigan that is now also in League One, and it was like for a really long time in the Premier League. So yeah, I hope for them, like a very historic team in football and in English football. I hope they can like get to the championship, and probably we'll see them in the future again in the Premier League.
Hopefully, yeah. 2008, I think, was when they crashed out of the championship. Also that same year, and they had a new owner, hoping that that man really hoped to bring them back to the Premier League. Like he really loved that club so much. So he wasn't able. Clearly, he wasn't able to do that, but he was able to keep them in the third tier. And now he's hoping that these new owners can help them and actually care about the team and help them reach the championship and hopefully Premier League. But that's definitely going to take some time. Yeah, they have history, lots of history, and they're a football team.
Yeah,
It's
and
not for the money.
yeah, exactly. Sometimes you have the mean, you just don't. You just have you have like the ideas. You just don't have the means, like the money and all of that. And especially with COVID, it's been like really bad for a lot of teams in England and all over the world. So yeah, this might be a game changer for them. The owners already said that they first want on to focus in investing on the team, on the players to get a better team and get them to the championships with the idea of in the future getting back Ipswich Town to the Premier League. But we have to wait and see. That's fingers crossed that they are good owners and they care about the club. And yeah, have to wait.
Yeah, some other big news that came out yesterday. Some stadiums for the Euro 2020 will have higher capacities for the tournament in the summer. For example, Wembley this year will be at 100% capacity for the semifinals and for the finals. What are your thoughts on that?
Obviously, it's good news. I'm a little bit unsure how they are going to make all the security measures, but yeah, we had already some tests, for example, in the European Super Cup in Hungary. So yeah, have to wait and see. For me, it's good news because I actually had a ticket for to watch Portugal against France in Budapest, but and I saw that they in Budapest they will have probably full capacity. They are aiming for that, but yeah, yeah, of course, for every football fan, it's a good news. A Euro without fans, it's not a Euro, and yeah, but they with or without the fans, they will make it because there's a lot behind it related to TV money and all this type of like commercial deals and all of that. And even if they don't get like that much money of the tickets, they still want to get the money of the commercial deals. So yeah, and for the fans, like it's football, and you want the fans there screaming and shouting and yeah, supporting their countries in this case. So yeah, I'm excited to see how this is going to work. We are still waiting for other cities to confirm how are they going to make this and if they are going to have fans or not and what will be the capacity. But yeah, it's good news of course for every football fans.
Yeah, football fans are what make the atmosphere of the game. They're the one that makes that feel good feeling when you're even when you're watching on TV. It's just the yelling, the shouting, all the just the fans are what make the game. When the players are on the pitch, the fans are there yelling, supporting them. I really love it. And so the news came out yesterday that the Budapest will have 100% capacity, Baku and St. Petersburg 50% capacity, Amsterdam, Bucharest, Copenhagen, Glasgow 25 to 33%, and the semifinals and final will be in Wembley, both semifinals, and they'll have 25% capacity for the final and semifinals. So I think they do a really good job, sanitizing, make social distancing, everything. I think they do a really good job. Clearly, Wembley is a huge stadium. They'll be able to social distance easily. I think. Um, you know, Obviously you have to be negative for COVID-19, but still, I think that they should allow fans back, and I think this is just great news. Huge step forward back to normal life.
Yeah, yeah, let's hope so that everything goes as expected and goes well. Let's see.
And some news. Arsene Wenger has made a new VAR system. What are your thoughts on that? That's really huge. He's saying it's most likely going to come out in November for the World Cup in Qatar.
Yeah, like Arsene Wenger has already been really um, critic about this VAR system, and now there is a company. I think it is a Danish company, if I'm not mistaken, and they are developing a new system, which will be basically delaying the time that we wait for the decisions, because I don't like understand that much about this kind of technology, but as I understood, it's more artificial uh, technology, so you won't have like the VAR there like pouring the lines, because now it's the VAR itself, so you have like someone there like in a van or whatever where it is, but he's with a computer in front of him full of screens, and when there is a decision and they don't know if it was a goal of the player was offside, the the VAR is the guy or the that designs the lines, and with this new system, the artificial intelligence, it will do everything, and you probably have like the decision in 5 seconds, and this has like a good impact, and like probably for a lot of like fans, and the more the more let's say elder ones that are have been like watching football since a long time ago, it kind of for them probably they'll say kind of kills the mood of the game, because if now we have like these decisions with a really close like offside, and it is offside because a player has like a finger outside of the line or something like that, with this system it will be even strict and even like certain, so you probably won't be able to contact to criticize the VAR, so will kind of uh, get like this mood, but we'll get like better decisions in my opinion, and the world is evolving, technology is everywhere, and like we have to embrace it and take like the best we can of it. So if this improves VAR, I think it's the direction we have to go. And yeah, like for now and for the future, it's impossible to see the football without VAR. And VAR is on it for almost like 2 years, and we have been really a lot of fans criticizing it. So we need to improve it, and this is the way to improve it.
Yeah, we gotta make the right decision somehow. And this new VAR is gonna go directly to VAR, and it's going to take, as you said, 5 or 6 seconds, and it's going to go directly to the linesman on the side. So there's going to be something on his watch, and he's just going to raise the flag. And so instead of having it 5 minutes at the end of the goal or at the end of the attacking chance, instead of that and ruining the fans, feelings after they score a goal and celebrate. Instead, before they score the goal or anything, that gets the hopes up. They'll put the flag. It's going to be offside, and the game will keep going on. This is like, as you said, much, much more stricter. They're gonna have so much more new technology coming out. It's just gonna be so. It's gonna make the game like, it might kill sometimes the mood, but really, this is just to keep the game, right, to really keep the rules in, and I think it's fixing the game slowly and slowly, and it's supposed to come out in November 2022 for the Qatar World Cup, as they tried VAR. This the new VAR in 2018 World Cup. They're going to try a new one in 2022 World Cup. Hopefully, it'll just make the game better instead of making wrong decisions. Like sometimes, because now the refs have to decide when they go to VAR, and sometimes they don't make the right decisions, and that could really affect the game in
Yeah,
either the most mainly negative way.
yeah. And on top of that, we like as fans we are watching the game, and we have to wait like 3 or 4 minutes sometimes for some decisions, and then you are there, the players are there, and you are like waiting to celebrate or not celebrate the goal, and like with this technology, at least like I think they will get like the decision in like 5 seconds or something like that, so it will be like better. Then we can criticize whatever you want, but you'll get the decision, and it's probably much more strict, and yeah, it's probably the truth, even more truth than where it is now.
Yeah, even just today, if it's time to go to the screen, go to VAR, check it. Obviously, they had added time at the end of the game, but still, we want the game now. We want it right now. We don't want it to wait until the end of the game. That just hurts the fan if it's both tied. You want a winner. You want to let the game play. You want it to go now. So VAR now wasted time. Down. When the new one comes out, it'll be right there and then. You're gonna be so much quicker. And honestly, I think it'll make the game better.
Yeah, yeah, just like it just imagine the last game between Bayern and PSG, and we had like a 4 minutes decision of to to have a decision of VAR. It will absolutely kill like the mood, the rhythm of the game, and yeah, it's for sure. For now, things are not better. Of course, VAR is the way to go, but yeah, a lot of margin to improve for sure, and
Yeah.
this might be the way to do it.
And new last thing we'll be talking about today is Inter Milan's new name and new badge. Their new name is I Am Football Club Internazionale Milano. What are your thoughts on that? Honestly, I like it all except for the badge. That's just it disgusts me.
Yeah, it's kind of like a a Juventus badge version, but for Inter, yeah, based on the initials of the team. You have the I for Inter, of course, the M for Milan. But it's really what is really interesting is the concept behind it. So they want to basically rebrand the club and try to show that the club is always on the verge of innovation, like the city of Milan, and try to connect the club with the city as it always has been. And it's also a good way to connect with the younger audience and target new markets because, of course, as we all know, Inter's chairman is Chinese and they have been investing a lot in the Chinese market and they want to get more fans there. So this might be a good idea, and it will, of course, attract this younger audience that is a little bit difficult to maintain because they normally go for the teams that are winning or the more well-known teams, and this might get Inter even more on the map with this concept that I am uh, Inter Football Club, I support Inter Football Club, I am an Inter fan. So yeah, it's probably like I'm okay with the badge, but what is important is the idea behind it, and it really shows how things are changing in football nowadays and how teams are trying to innovate. And it's like really interesting because most football fans are a little bit conservative, and this is of course a change for the future and a futuristic change. And yeah, it's interesting, and let's see how it works, especially on the pitch. Of course, every football fan wants to see that. And yeah, next season we'll have our answers about that.
Yeah, I think you really said everything, and the I am is supposed to be I am as an expression to like develop a new identity around the club. We have so much history. They just want to spread the club, make a bigger fan base. You know, they want to spread the message I am whoever you want to be. I think it's a great message. I like everything except for that badge. For some reason, that can't stick with me. I really don't like it.
Yeah, it's not a traditional one for sure, and yeah, it's like Juventus one, but for Inter,
It reminds me of a superhero for some reason.
and it's more simplistic rather than like the previous one. But we'll get used to it. We get used to the Juve one. We'll get used to the Inter one. So yeah. Let's hope that like this badge change, logo change, will get Inter uh, further better than they have been in the last years. Of course, now they are like really close to win the Serie A in a lot, and it's like really good. I think yeah, last time they won it was in 2010 or 11 when Mourinho when they won the Champions League. So it has been a long time for them, and the fans will be, of course, crazy to celebrate another title for Inter Milan.
Yeah, the season looks very likely they'll be able to win. 10 points ahead of Milan, Juventus in third place. people are starting to doubt even if Juventus might make it in the Champions League next season. Milan, Inter Milan, honestly, I think this year's their year. They're going to be able to lift that Serie A trophy finally for so long. Juventus have had it for the past 9 years. I think they've been a great team for the past 9 years, but I think now Inter has just been incredible this year. Even they're not in the Champions League, but they're still performing so well in
Yeah,
the Serie A.
yeah, and of course they last year they managed to go to the Europa League final. So yeah, they have been improving. So
Thanks to Lukaku, Martinez up top. It's a
yeah,
great duo up top, just combining to score so many goals. Great team this year.
yeah, for sure. So I think that's it for today, right? You have
Yeah,
no more
there's some
news.
questions in the chat if you want to answer them. I already answered this one when you were gone, so you can answer this one.
Probably, I think I bet you said Real Madrid, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, of course, yeah. Yeah, I think the top priorities for them are probably Haaland and Mbappe. But if they buy Kylian Mbappe, they'll probably not have the financial conditions to go with this deal and buy Haaland. But for sure, between these two, Haaland has been like for a lot of clubs identified as a much cheaper option, although it is a really good player and it will be expensive. But if you compare to Mbappe, clubs will have to spend much less, and a lot of clubs, of course, Real Madrid is included. They are with the eye on him, and yeah, in my opinion, Real Madrid it will be his final destination. But yeah, we have also good contenders.
yeah. Next question. I think we already answered this, just not in context. Who do you think is going to win the second leg? So, like, basically, our predictions.
Yeah, basically our predictions. I think Real Madrid, right? We said that both Real Madrid. Um, you also agree with Chelsea that Chelsea will probably win. I think Bayern is going to make a comeback. You think PSG for
Right.
sure, yeah, and I get it. They have like a foot on the semi-final, and they'll probably go through. And Manchester City probably have a tough time again with Dortmund, but it's Manchester City. They'll go through. Then in the semi-final, it's a different deal.
Yeah, I think Pep for City, he always overthinks it. Really, like last year against Leon, if he had played his normal tactics, if he played normally, I think he really should have been able to get past them. But I think when he gets into the stage of the Champions League, he always overthinks things, which I think really hurts him.
Yeah, and it has been for Pep Guardiola. It has been like a objective to win the Champions League with Manchester City for a long time now.
Yeah,
So yeah, maybe this is the year. Maybe not. It's Champions. It's Champions League. It's
you never know.
but yeah.
Next one is who do you think is going to win the Champions League?
Mhm. You can go first.
For me, it depends. If Bayern Munich won't make it and PSG do, honestly, I think Real Madrid will be able to make it. Honestly, I think if Bayern Munich don't make it, then Real Madrid are the strongest team in this competition. City are still there, but as I said before, I think Dortmund's going to be able to pass. So if Dortmund do get there, I think Real Madrid have one of the best chances of reaching the finals and winning, actually. If Bayern Munich, on the other hand, they'll reach it, they're going to have a much tougher time. I think Real Madrid will make it to the Champions League final with ease against if Chelsea or Porto. I think Real Madrid is better than both of those teams. So I think they'll be able to make it to the final. It really depends who they go against in the final. But I think Real Madrid will be able to lift the trophy, bring the 14th home.
Yeah, I'm betting on Bayern Munich, especially. But this is more personally my personally like favorite team right now in the Champions League. So yeah, I'm going with Bayern Munich. But I know, yeah, they have to pull a really good comeback, and as soon as they are in the semi-finals, if they play against Dortmund or Manchester City, can expect a really good game. But yeah, as I already told, I think they are really much mature team, and they manage to do like the minimums at least to win games and to get through every stage of every competition. So yeah, I'm with Bayern.
Okay.
Bayern's going to win, and if we Can see a Real Madrid Bayern final for
Oh,
sure. Le-
that'd be a great final. Best
Yeah,
in the last few years. Last year's good as well. Last question from Irene George. Who has more Champions League assists, Ronaldo or Messi? Messi.
probably Messi. Yeah.
Ronaldo has more goals, but Messi has more assists. But in the end of the day, what's his better? Would you rather have a goal or an assist? Are those
Ooh,
goals?
always goals.
Yeah,
Uh, probably an assist. Yeah,
he
probably
has
an assist.
goals.
It's beautiful, like it's when you see like Thiago doing those true passes. Yeah, probably an assist. Yeah,
Yeah, Messi with that vision, so it's just to find the players on the other end of the pitch, just to play them the balls is really great. Kimmich as well with that Muller, the second goal from Muller. It was a great Kimmich ball into the box, and Muller was able to get his head onto it unmarked. It was great. These passers are brilliant. Okay, we have one more question. Who do you think is the best in the world? Mm,
okay, probably right now. Right now, for me, it's Lewandowski. I'm not that kind of like Portuguese that says that Ronaldo is the best all the way. I'm not. Actually, my favorite player is Bernardo Silva, although it's not the best player in the world, but it's my favorite player. But right now, in my opinion, Lewandowski is the best player in the world. Right now, I'm just like evaluating, taking into account uh, what he has done in the past year.
Yeah, I agree with you, Lewandowski. Incredible, incredible season. This year, he's looking to break that record of Gerard Muller, most
Yeah,
goals in the Bundesliga season. I think he's going to come back from injury in the next 3 weeks. I think now. I think he'll still be able to do it. He'll have maybe 3 or 4 games left. I think he'll be able to score 5 more goals to tie it, maybe 6 to win it. I think he will. So I think Lewandowski's the best player in the world right now. But I'm a Ronaldo fan. I want to say Ronaldo, but I just can't.
you can say it's like for the past seasons he has been really good. So yeah, yeah, it's a good. It's also a good option, like
Yeah,
just it's good to that we can have like this kind of discussion about the best player because it's so difficult to decide, and that's really good. It means that we have really good players nowadays, and we just can't decide because they are really good.
yeah. Okay, there are no more questions. So thank you all so much for watching. We'll be live streaming every Saturday, right?
Yeah, right. Next
So,
Saturday, we'll probably be here.
yeah. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe and check out the Footy Report website. Read those articles. Great
Yeah, we
articles.
have a lot of very interesting articles, and not about the teams that normally you see on the internet and you see every website talking about. We have really interesting news that you probably don't expect to read. So go check it out, please. To will help us really. So yeah,
Yeah, it will help us grow our channel, grow the website. And I'll have the link in the description to the website. So if you guys want to do that, click on it, go visit it. We have articles there. So yeah. And thank you all so much for watching. See you next Saturday.
thanks. Bye guys.